If you don't change these mindsets, success will never happen. Here's why. If you want to have a wealthy mindset, walk in success, there are key changes that need to be made in order for you to do so. Wealthy people don't chase outcomes. They become someone who naturally create outcomes. You have to play the game to win. It's a game. Money's a game. I took the time to understand human behavior and communication. This is key. So in this video, I'm going to share at least about 7 principles that is going to help you walk in a wealthy mindset and walk in success. The first one is going to be, you gotta start and leave out being outcome obsessed, and you have to become more identity driven. What does that mean? You're like, what is that, Dee? It means first thing first, and this is a biblical principle that I love. As a man thinketh, so is he. This means the old mindset might be for you, I want to be wealthy. I want to walk in success. And there's nothing wrong with that. But this is the new mindset shift that is going to help you absolutely do even better than just having the I want to be wealthy, and set you in action versus just motion. It's going to be, I am becoming the type of person who produces wealth. What does that mean? This is what it means. A lot of the times when we sit here and we say we want to be wealthy, we consume and consume and consume content. And as beautiful as that is, as many books as we can read, nothing is going to happen until you do the thing. So let's start here. I'm going to actually share with you the framework first. And then once I share the framework, you're going to understand exactly where I'm trying to go with this. Okay. So bear with me here. Here is number 1 to this framework. Number 1 to this framework is you have to think different. That's the number 1 thing to this framework, is you have to think different. Here you go, making sure that you guys can see that. You have to be able to think different. Number 2, this is very big, is act different. All right. So once we go from thinking different, then we go to acting different. Why? Because when you think different, you start to realize that the way you think shapes everything else. It shapes your movements. It shapes what you do. It shapes the income that comes in. It shapes how you speak. It shapes how you sell, how you communicate. This is huge. All right. So wealthy people don't chase outcomes, right? They become someone who naturally create outcomes, right? A lot of the times people can chase and chase and chase outcomes. But this is not what this is about. It's about being the person who can actually produce something, sitting down, working on the business God gave you, working on the content he gives you, and going out there and do. A lot of people have analysis paralysis. We get there in the mode of where we're like, we're in motion because we're planning and planning and planning. But in reality, we are staying stuck because we're constantly planning, but not taking action and moving forward, not communicating, not making the sale that we need to do. So here's what you can start asking yourself. You can start asking yourself, what would a wealthy woman do, right, on this random day? What would I do? Instead of just consuming, I can say, hey, I'm going to sit here now and I'm going to create content, right? I'm going to write the script, but not only write the script, I am now going to record it. Set a time and a date to record it. Like I said, this is a biblical principle that I really love, and it is from Proverbs 23, verse 7. As a man thinketh, so is he. Now we're going to go from thinking different to what? Acting different. This has a lot to do with systems, right? So it's going from motivation to systems. This is where this is going here. And I'm going to share it with you and what I mean. I don't rely on motivation to move me. A lot of people wait till someone comes and they rah chase them to do something, when in reality, that is not going to get you anywhere. Motivation can only get you so far. I'm going to say it again. Motivation can only get you so far. So in order for you to act different, you got to have systems in place for when you are tired, that you are still able to do the things that you want to do, even when you're not motivated, right? So you got to be the person that moves by systems and habits. One of my favorite books to read was Atomic Habits. And I believe he talks about systems too. He talks about cues. What are some cues that are going to get you to move on the habits that you want to do. For me, my environment around me matters, right? For people who are in business, like we're talking about right now, you have to have a system that works for you. You have to have automation that works for you. Let's just give an example. For example, you have an offer out there and you put an offer. It's out there, people hear it, they see it, and they click to go and buy. When they buy, what begins to happen? Does it always require you to be present the moment someone clicks? Or is there an automation trigger that goes to where they buy something, they get a welcome email, it sends them to whatever community you have, whether it's a group, and then it sends them their product, like it shows them where they need to go and view, whether it's their course, or it triggers and lets you know, hey, there's someone who needs to get on a phone call with you. What systems are working for you while you are tired? Okay. Here's another thing with still building systems and being able to act different. Do small, consistent actions daily. Small, consistent actions daily. This is going to help you build a wealth mindset. So I'm a person who loves to do. I love to work hard. A lot of people that I know, a lot of women who are on here, you might be a woman who's like, I get excited and I'm going to move and I'm going to like take whatever project I have and I'm going to go full throttle. What's good about that is you have the hard work determination. Now, where the problem gets to is if you go all gassed out that first day and the next day you need to do something else, you're going to be like, I'm too tired. But if you break that project into smaller tasks, then you're every single day executing that task. And then the project will eventually be done, but you won't burn out. Because what happens when you lay that project to the side because you decided to go at it for one whole day? What happens is you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, right? You get complacent. All of a sudden, procrastination starts to set in. So that won't work. Okay. So when you build systems and you begin to act different, you begin to keep more promises to yourself. So consistency beats intensity. I'm going to say that again. Consistency beats intensity. So the first layer we said was what? Think different. The second one we said was what? Act different. Now we're going to go to the third part of this framework. All right. The third part is become different. How do I become different? That's huge. All right. Become different by allowing yourself to become a master at something. Mastery is going to beat the person who is talented, who has the skills, but is not doing anything. Become a master at something. Why? Money follows mastery. Money follows mastery. Instead of the person who says, yeah, I'll work on my skills here and there. I'll study here and there. You set a schedule and you're like, you know what? Not only am I reading this book, but I am going to practice the skills that I'm reading. Not only am I getting coaching, but I'm going to put in place all the skills that I'm learning, all my takeaways from this coaching, right? Build high income skills. Get good at communication. Get good at sales. I remember telling myself, I said, I want to be better at communicating. I'll tell you a little story. So I used to have issues with communicating well. I couldn't get my story across. I couldn't get my point across. And when it couldn't get across, what began to happen? People began to misunderstand me. And in order for people to understand me, I had to be able to say, there's a disconnect here. In order for me to make a sale, in order for me to be able to just even be relatable with someone, right? I have to be able to be a great communicator. So I took the time to understand human behavior in communication. This is key. I love human behavior. How do people think? Why did this person think that I said this word a certain way? And so like they took it and ran with it. And that's not even what I meant, right? That's the same way in sales. You're trying to sell something, and because you are sounding like you're not confident in what you're trying to sell, you're not trying to come off that way, but because you're really not confident, they can tell, and immediately they don't want to buy from you. And you're like, what happened? It could have been a certain question you asked. My husband has trained me in this. It could be like, you're like, well, if and when you're ready. No. You have to be very assertive in what you are trying to do. So get good at communication, get good at sales, get good at marketing, get good at marketing. This is what I mean by become different. Wealthy people, wealth mindset is not just saying, I'm going to sit here and make a reel, a post, and expect it to go viral. No, entrepreneurs who think different say, no, I know I got to get better at marketing. I know I got to get better at putting my product out there, putting my business out there so that people can see it. You have to play the game to win. It's a game. Money's a game. Here is another one. Practice. The way to become different and master your skill is to practice. Practice your sales. Practice it with family. Practice it with friends. Practice your communication with other people. Practice it by doing more reels, by getting on here, whether it's on a YouTube platform, and begin to speak. Practice your speaking skills. This will make you better. Why? I love the Atomic Habits because it talks about how even a 1% change can it eventually compounds into a big change. A lot of people think, oh, I just have to like practice in the hiding area, but like in the comfort of my home and never get on camera. And then, so by the time I get on camera, I'm amazing. No. A lot of the people who you see, like look at Mr. Beast, go to Mr. Beast's first videos, go to a lot of different people, their videos, and begin to see that they all started somewhere. This is tea with D, so we got to have some tea as well. All right. So everyone started somewhere. So practice. So when you think differently, you begin to act different, right? You begin to also become different. And this allows you to do the fourth one that I'm about to say right now. After all of that is going to be, you can earn different. Why can you earn different? Because we started with, as a man thinks, so is he. I want to make sure y'all see it. We started with, as a man thinketh, so is he. So if you renew your mindset, you begin to act different. If you believe that you are the person who can sell, you begin to sell. If you begin to believe that you are the person who can communicate, you communicate. You see how this goes? If you believe you are the person who have confidence, you start to act like you have confidence. And all of a sudden, people start to say, oh, you changed. What's going on? You became a little bit more confident in your sales and your communication when you walk on stage. There's something different about you. What is it? And now you can say, hey, because I'm talking from experience. You can say, hey, my mind, just like a switch went off. A switch went off. And when this switch went off, I realized, wait a minute, this is who I am. Because see, I'm going to bring this home to you in a different way. You have to understand that identity is everything. So I'm going to bring it home to you in a different way, just in case you didn't understand it in this form. All right. So here it goes. Now you begin to earn different. What does that mean? Value. You value yourself because you put value on how you speak, value on what you're selling, value on who you are and what you have to bring to the table. Because you have done that, now you start to earn differently. Why? Because number one, now you understand that you solve problems that people will pay for. Listen to me, especially my kingdom-minded people. We should, when I say kingdom-minded, we should really think just like the kingdom. But there's something that begins to creep in when it comes to Christians. For some reason, Christians think, I'm just going to give free value. And when I give free value, I'm going to be serving my people at the highest level and they're going to get it because I'm doing them a favor. You are not doing anyone a favor by giving anything away for free. I'm going to sip some tea. I'm going to say it again for my sisters and brothers in the back. You are not doing anything for anyone if you are giving anything away for free. You have value. Put some value on what you have. People will pay for the wisdom you have, pay for what you have to speak to them about, pay for your product. People will pay. I pay to go get my hair done. I pay for these clothes. knows. So why don't you think that people will pay for your consultation? People will pay for what your product is doing. People will pay for your video editing skills. There are people out there that value what you do if you can communicate that value, because you think differently, so you act differently, you become different, and now you're providing that value. All right. And here goes, when we talk about earning different, what begins to happen too is not only do you value yourself and what you have to offer, you package your knowledge. You're like, wait a minute, I'm good at this. I'm good. Someone thought, okay, so I have this little Vicks vapor rub here, and someone thought about this. It's not the vapor rub, it's the inhaler. So someone thought about this, because if you're Haitian like me or any other person some Haitians that I know, Vicks vapor rub is something that I will put on underneath my nose, sometimes on my chest, almost every night. It's something that I love. I can breathe well. I love it. And so during the day, no one really wants to take Vicks and put it underneath their nose and go about walking and running errands through the day. You look like your nose is running, but really it's the Vicks vapor rub. But someone thought in their company to make the little inhaler, right? So they package their knowledge so that they can help us not be embarrassed walking around with a whole slob of like vapor rub underneath our nose. Take your knowledge and package it. Take your knowledge about being a homeschool mom. Take your knowledge about being whatever it is that you are passionate in doing, not just because you can do it, but you got to be passionate about it as well, and package the knowledge. Sell transformation, not information. This was huge for me in the very beginning, learning this. You have knowledge on something, so you think, I'm just going to put the information out there, when in reality, it's the transformation that sells, right? This is how you begin to earn different. You begin to sell people on, hey, I see where you're going. It's like, sell them the vacation. This is where you're going to be in 5 weeks. This is where, you want to lose weight. This is how good you're going to look in like 90 days after you do this program. And you begin to sell them on all of that, their looks and how their arms are going to be better, their legs, everything. That's what you're going to begin to earn different, because you think different. It's so important to embrace this mindset as you are building wealth and trying to achieve success. Okay. And price based on results. You don't price based on, I have to make this available and affordable for everyone else. You price based on the results that you're given. This is how you get a wealthy mindset. These are the things that you need to shift and change in your life immediately. All right. So I'm going to share something else with you as well. I had to film somewhere else today because of how the winter weather has kind of affected South Carolina. Income is a reflection of value. It's based on how you can help somebody. Income is a reflection of value. If we trace it back and say, what do you think about your offer? What do you think about your speaking skills? What do you think about what you have to give when you step into a room, you step into a boardroom? What has God placed on your life, and you're saying, hey, this is a value. This is key. All right. This is key. So let me share this part with you. It goes from identity to systems to skills, to value, to income. I'm going to say it again. Identity, systems, skills, value, and income. This is huge in shifting your mindset. And if you do these things, you will begin to walk in success. Listen, I'm not asking you to do it overnight, but what I am saying that's going to help you, just like when I read in Atomic Habits, James Clear, he says, even a 1% change compounds. So even if you decide to say, hey, today I'm going to think differently about this. I'm going to think differently on how I look at sales. I'm going to start to look at sales as service, so that I know that I am serving my clients at the highest level versus just, people look at sales as, man, I have to like con somebody into something. You shouldn't have to force no one into anything. The people who are for you should come and buy your product or your services, not someone who is not for you. So I pray that this video has been a blessing to you. And if it is, I want you to go ahead and like, subscribe, and share this content. God bless you.